Emily, thank you for joining me here at the American News Network, major news network, soon to be here on Roku with Chris Sanders. Wagon Joe is leading us into catastrophe after catastrophe here. The head hemorrhoid, the head of Hezbollah. He's aligning the forces against us, and can we win? And with Wagon Joe, I'm going to let you know, the chef from South Park, that's right, Lloyd Austin, he's been out of it since December 22nd. We're just now learning about it, but what's more important, he didn't follow the protocol, which was to inform his boss, being the Wagon. But then again, let's face it, the Wagon himself probably would say, who are we talking about? I really doubt if he can even recognize who Jill is, except if they weren't wearing their favorite tablecloths throughout the years. And luckily, he probably does have a good memory of what happened long ago. Now, Hootie and the Blowfish. They are becoming a severe problem. And remember, the real Hootie in the United States went country because he just knew that country was cool. All right, so this guy, we're having a split of division. And they are getting more money from two sides. You know what that is? One side would be BRICS. Yeah, and everybody's joining BRICS because of Wagon Joe. The only reason why our stock market's remaining strong is because the world is gambling that Orange Man Good with watermelon balls is going to step back into action. That's what we're praying on here, America. And because we don't have a fearless man of God that's leading us, well, the devil is at play, and he's getting by with things that he should not be getting by with. And we're seeing tension and terror out on the Red Sea right now. In the midst of escalating tensions in the Red Sea, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah has derided the USA-led Naval Air Force, and they've taken swipes at us for assembling a multi-nation task force deterring the Houthi attacks, and they've assembled a coalition against us that is funded by oil and gas. This by proxy also brings Iran into the picture, and they've released their second warship, but multiple smaller vessels. I'll be getting into those, and those are basically scarabs with missiles and guided missile drone attachments that are attached to it. It's pretty interesting, scary stuff, in my opinion. Now, while we're looking at that smoke screen, I want you to understand that that is part of the terror of the Wagon Joe administration. Terror is going on everywhere, literally. And we have a border crisis. And he has let this guy named Alexander, I don't have a spine, Mayorkas. What a disaster for America, this guy. I can't even tell you what he's done, but we've had millions. Look at this here, 2.3 million plus, and that's what's accounted for. Let me tell you, it's more like 30 million, and it is a disaster, and it's a disaster coming to us daily from this out of control catastrophe. Because let's just face it, they shouldn't be there. I'm glad Donald Trump, my president, brought it up, and that is we just need to turn around the last election. There's been so much fraud that has been discovered. And for you that don't know, you can investigate my earlier videos where I'm sitting with countless sheriff that gathered with Mr. Mike Lindell of My Pillow, and we literally took apart Smartmatic and Dominion. That's right, and their onboard chipsets, and found literally onboard gigabyte stuff. You know how small SD cards are now, right? We cannot trust these people, and we cannot let them then mediate with themselves to then overthrow our Constitution, which is exactly what the Fox versus Dominion Smartmatic case was, because then we have companies such as BlackRock and Vanguard that own both of those companies, which is not only a conflict of interest, as we all know in America. Those are the people that are funding the military industrialization war complex, and it is out of control. And as such, the world is just furious. Speaking of furious people, little Kim out there, he has officially, as of today, scrapped the deal that he made with Trump. He says, Wagon Joe, you don't even have the spine to say hello, which he doesn't. He doesn't have the spine to say hello to the people in America, little Kim, so don't take it too personally. I mean, even Dennis Rodman thinks this guy ain't cool. We're all in the same boat with you. Now, What do we need to do? How can you help us over there? I have no idea, but we are aware of the fact that guess what? Little Kim is actually selling munitions to Russia. Now, what does that prove to us? Proves to me that we're in some sort of world war, actually. So we've got North Korean missiles that are being used in the Ukraine. And now we have North Korean munitions that are being used by Hamas. To me, that there has to be a media alliance or someone that tells you, hey, there's an alliance against us. So when I see North Korean equipment that's being used by Russia in the Ukraine and by Iran and Hamas, well, the news media is not telling you that there is a world war going on and we're fighting forces such as Russia and China and North Korea in an alliance against the Ukraine and Syria and Iran by proxy. And we're in a world war because of Jack Wagon Joe. And if Congress was real, or if the Senate was real, they would enact the War Powers Act of 1973, the same thing they had to do with Nixon and Kennedy because of how they what? Bombed Laos and Cambodia and kept it quiet for all the Americans, but they just literally plagued hell throughout of all of Asia. You'd have to be Asian to know that, I guess. But they did those things, just like we're doing now in the Ukraine, just like we did a few years for decades in Afghanistan for nothing but opium. We can do better than this, America. South Korea declares that there is no longer a buffer zone between North Korea, and I'm going to bring up the speculation. The day he takes apart his treaty is the day that Japan is met with serious earthquakes and underwater tsunamis. Perhaps this is a new direct energy weapon that they're using off the coast underwater in Japan so that they can create havoc, because this was also the same day and the same week as the multiple threats from North Korea to Japan, Taiwan, and the United States. And then we also had a quake happen out there near New York. And let's just get into something else. We had an explosion happen in Fort Worth, Texas tonight. And we don't know if it's a gas smell. People have contacted us. They say it still smells like gas out there. And for everybody that's in the area that doesn't need to be in the area, get out of the area if you don't need to be there. So we have 11 people that have been hospitalized in Fort Worth, Texas, and they're clearing out the wreckage of the Sandman Hotel in Fort Worth, Texas. And so this is a local emergency now. Something I'm going to speculate that no one else has. Is this some sort of domestic terrorism? Because we've had multiple explosions, multiple train derailments, and we have the highest number of illegal aliens in our country like we've never seen before. So these are facts and figures that are actually going on, and I wanted you to be aware of that's happening here, because it's happening and it's out of control in America. So these are just updates, and I wanted you to be aware of the updates. I'm going to let him talk so that you can hear the update.
That we did change this to also what we call a mass casualty incident, meaning we've got multiple patients. We have the ambulance down here. We've got our MCI trailers down here just to make sure that we can take care of, depending on how many patients we do have at this time. I'm being told we've got 11 patients that have been transported to local hospitals at this point in time. The incident itself has went to a second alarm. And we do have Arlington backing up here in downtown just for an added resource if need be. We've got a family assistance center for those that are trying to figure out if they've got loved ones that were involved in this case. It is set up at lot 15 at the Sundance Square parking lot at 200 5th Street. Again, that family assistance center is set up at 200 5th Street here in downtown at the Sundance Square parking lot. And we also have our emergency office set up and ready to go to help out with the resources that need be. I'll open up for a few questions at this.
Okay, so we have some stuff that's happening out there. Italy is calling, and Italy is calling right now for an alliance so that she can be in charge of what would be a new EU NATO. And I'm going to tell it like I see it, and guess what? Islam dissolved NATO. What do I mean by that, Chris? Well, what I mean is that when Turkey pulled out and made Israel an enemy, that's basically them going against a lot of the people of the WEF, World Economic Forum, a lot of the people that own everything that we see. And when you take out one, you take out all, correct? So basically we saw crumbling and all those sanctions backfiring. And as of this week, Putin controls, he controls it all. He controls BRICS. He's the president of BRICS. He's not just a key player. He is the main enchilada. Okay. So there you go. And the foreign minister of Italy, everybody else, they're basically wanting us to know the same. And so we've got countries, is like I said, North Korea, there's the hot seat down there, what's going on. And we have Lloyd Austin, the chef, that's been taken out. We have a compromised president, realistically, as even Marjorie Taylor Greene's listed guilty of treason for the border. So we've had this guy, the blinking guy. Is he a blinking idiot? I do not know, my friend. Let me tell you, I have no idea. But he has been representing us. And he has been told lately, just as even recently, Qatar said, hey, basically, you need to sit your butt down. And now that Hezbollah has joined forces in this war, there's no way that the United States can win. We've already been drained. The way we pulled out of Afghanistan was so ridiculous. What do I mean by that? Well, we could have moved all that gear to Saudi. That was close by, or even Iraq, somewhere close by, and kept guard of it. But we literally, this jackwagon gave it to the Taliban, which is what? Aiding, abetting the enemy, which is what? Congress, America knows it. That's treason. You want to blame Trump for treason? Really, you can kiss our you-know-whats, because that orange man that's our grandpa loves us, and that's way more than we can say about you. This whole entire administration sucks. You don't care about anything, and all I can see us do is blowing up the entire world and spreading nothing but terrorism, whether it's domestic terrorism, or when you go after Trump, it's so ridiculous. It makes me think, and everybody else in America, that we have become the Soviet Union from the days of old. And as this guy, blinking idiot, goes out there, he's not respected by anybody. Qatar's basically said for him to sit himself down and pull out of Gaza or else. Now, a lot of people don't know why this Hezbollah thing is serious. But I know because I was raised around people like this my entire life, so I can tell you. Hezbollah, when that organization joined into this, what that had the power to do was it had the power to unite the Shiites and the Sunnis. Anybody ever tell you that? Hello? No, because they don't know, Chris. They've never read the Quran. They don't know what Hezbollah means. Well, see, Allah is in that word, Hezbollah. It actually means to all the Muslims and everybody over there, in God's way. Let me repeat this. So Hezbollah means in God's way. So when America then has a war with literally what all of the Arabs call in God's way, well, what do you mean? It's purely, I'm trying to tell you, it's the T in our agenda that's done it. The whole trans-America agenda with Big Mike Obama, to them, they can't swallow that with God. It's not in God's way. And it was the ignition that gave Wagon Joe the fist bump. Now, Netanyahu might shake his hand, but you ain't shaking no king's hand or no prince's hand as a pedophile. Let's get real. And a handshake is a contract over there, and I've said it, and I proved it. And it's been that way since day one. So we have Qatar ripping Israel on stage with Blinken, and there's fresh fears that this war will metastasize into something so major. And let me tell you something, with today's technology, in my opinion, not only I've said this, but Netanyahu said this multiple times, and that is, Israel is a one-bomb state. Okay, on to other things, and I know I just said the one-bomb state, but I mean there's bombs so big it just takes one, and there you go. No one said it, I will, and this has become a religious war, and you can't just go blowing people out of their whole entire homes and then massacring everything to the beginning of time and thinking, oh, that's cool. Yeah, we don't care that you blew up children. Sorry, that really doesn't work for the rest of the world. And it damn sure doesn't work for anybody that's Muslim. So if you have Muslim friends, well, understand, like I've called it since day one. Okay? I think that the Christians and the Muslims and the Hindus should reunite on behalf of God, because these people, these new radical one percenters, are trying to all question the God that we share, the sanctity of a marriage between a man and a woman, and even how God made us as man and woman. And this pisses us all off. It doesn't just piss us off on the 700 Club and CBN. It also, you go to the Muslim channels, you go to the Hindu channels, and they think we're a bunch of satanic cult people. And when you study what these people do, it's kind of hard not to believe that maybe that's what we become. Now, I'm just trying to say that it gets kind of sick sometimes, and we need to be vigilant, and we need to care. We need to love one another and be there. So, Kiev is on fire, and I don't want to help that out, because we're just really perpetuating a civil war. It's something that was never finished since 1991 in Russia. Mark my words, those of you that know, those of us that are old enough to know, the Ukraine was Russia when we were born. Did you know that? Okay, so other than that, we have 30 missiles that have been launched. And these 30 missiles have been launched at our children. These 30 missiles were launched today at our children, and we don't know the casualties that we've had out there. And I'm kind of sick of it, because I can't even tell you, really, why are we there? We have a chef, Lloyd Austin. He's not on the scene. Jack Wagon Joe doesn't want to fire him, but he's been gone now for a half a month, and he's in feeble condition. You know why? I'm guessing it's because he's so stressed out, because he knows he's representing a total liar. It's just my thoughts. So imagine, okay? Imagine if you had to go out there and lie consistently for a guy that's just a POS, and he's a complete POS, an operating system, and everybody knows it. So what did he do? Well, he got this guy here behind me to be our chef. And chef is really, he's really a soul man, Isaac Hayes. But you know what? In the end, it's hard to be the puppet of some cracker that just is fading away, and not one promise has ever come true. So the chef couldn't stand South Park. And at the same time, Lloyd Austin's health ain't sticking around to take care of him either. And there's things that are happening even in your small town. I'm going to flash over here with Alex Stein, and he's going to Denton, Texas. And Antifa has gotten in front of this place right off the square called Patchouli Joe's. And yeah, they're just basically giving him a tough time, because they want to have drag queen story time in Denton, Texas, right off the square, and protect that with guns. So I thought that was an interesting topic. So we're gonna let you hear this real quick here.
This guy keeps on trying to bump me every time I walk by. You right? Dude, I'm walking down the street. I'm standing here. I'm allowed.
Let him go sideways.
I don't know.
Alright, Alex, you need to leave.
I'm not leaving, guys. You're trying to get in my way. I'm here on a public street. Get out of my way.
Oh my God, guys, I'm so scared. The Antifa, they brought their play guns, their squirt guns. Oh my God, your arts and crafts time. Did this mess up your arts and crafts time? You guys think you'll be able to go home and play with it?
Why is it so tiny?
Look how scary they are. Oh my God, this guy's so scared. I'm so scared. This guy's God, he's a big guy. He's a big bad guy. Oh my God, I'm so happy you're protecting these children so they can go get indoctrinated and go in there for transgender story time. You're such a good American. God bless this guy. Look at him. I'm scared.
Dare you. I mean, these people, these are the real cowards. They're hiding behind their masks. They got their little guns. They think they're so tough.
We're at a bookstore here in Denton, Texas, so they're trying to do drag queen story hour, and of course, the typical people here with their masks on, not able to actually stand up for what they believe in because they're all cowards. Officer, you think it's unusual they have their assault weapons like that out here in front of a place like this? Is that normal? No comment. I'm walking down the street. I'm standing here. I don't like.
Let him go sideways.
I don't like.
Alright, Alex, you need to leave.
I'm not children. But see, these are the real scaredy cats. They gotta walk around with a gun. They can't handle themselves like a real man. All right, guys. I just want to announce I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein, and I love y'all, even though you guys don't love me, and I know you guys probably love children a little too much. But I'm very empathetic to you guys. I love you guys. Even these guys with the guns, I feel sorry that you guys were probably abused as children, and I really hope you guys get the mental health care that you guys deserve. I love you guys. God bless you all. I love you guys. I love your rights. I think you guys are great. We need to actually transition more children. We need more drag queen story time for elementary school kids.
Pro-Palestinian protest.
Well, those are the wars that we're fighting, and sometimes we have to be satirical to let you know. And he gave his own address out there to follow him. And thank you for defending our country. And I just want you to know afterwards where they all go out and have a beer at a place. You're part of Antifa, go down to Rubber Gloves or Harvest House, and that's where all of you people, get together and socialize. As far as the rest of the town, it is really not that liberal. But we've got a major thing going on as far as with the rest of the world. And like I said, we have big attacks that are going on our U.S. air base. And it's completely out of control as far as with everything else. What you're seeing right here is there's 300 people that got arrested today for a pro-Palestine Brooklyn Bridge shutdown. So these people got together, sat their butts out on the street, and literally shut down the Brooklyn Bridge today. So we have all this stuff that's going on in our society, and it's like, really, can we keep up on going with this? So the North Korean deal is out there. It's gone as of today. And we're learning that Obama is controlling stuff. So, it's nothing that we wanted to see, but we are seeing it. And Putin has turned literally everything that we're seeing hell on earth in the Ukraine. So it was the Orthodox Day, which was yesterday, and these are the results of what we're seeing from the Russian shelling that have gone on and all the power loss in Donetsk. So this is real stuff going on, and I do not want to contribute to it. I want us to build homes here in the United States for us. We can use our money here that we're giving to Russia and to Saudi. Yeah, we're giving them, and to Iran. We're giving these countries $14, $16, $17 billion a pop while we have record unemployment. We have an administration that wants to lie about all the jobs they create. When I showed you the streets of Los Angeles, and if you're visiting us on Roku, the neat thing is we're streaming the last month of information, including when I was driving on the streets of Los Angeles, walking up the roads of the 3rd Street Promenade, showing you how all the businesses are 90% closed down and shut down. The United States is out of business completely, and it's out of business because of the fact that we don't have a businessman leading us anymore. We have a fraudulent shyster, and I'm with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I believe that he has violated our Constitution. I believe that our Congress is basically in default, and they've let treason go on for long enough. Bribery has been proven, and under Article 2.4 of the Constitution, 24 hours after bribery has been proven, he should have been out of there. This guy has been allowed to pose as some sort of guy protecting us, and they're saying 2.4 million behind me, 2.3, but I'm going to say 30 million illegal aliens, 500,000 from Venezuela. The war is at our doorstep. We just had a building blow up today. We've got record amount of trains that get off their tracks. These are all men that came into our country, all the age to fight, and this is a new war that we are fighting. and I want you to be aware of that. So, thank you for joining me here at the American News Network with Chris Sanders. I want you to like, share, subscribe, pass the news on, and I'll be spreading you the truth on Roku here pretty soon, and you're going to have to type in Major News Network, and that'd be towards the later end of this week. God bless each and every one of you, and remember, if you're in Texas and throughout here, we have a cold front that came in and wind that is everywhere, so if you don't have to drive, don't drive, stay home, tell everybody that you love them, and God bless you. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.